Good morning, fellow wet shavers. Brian here with the Wet Shave Experience. Thank you for tuning in today. Today on the channel, I will be using Zingari Man's #1, along with the matching recovery splash. I will be using the RazoRock Lupo 0.72. I have a brand new Nasset blade that I'll be putting in it, and I have scooped out the soap, which is about this much soap. I don't know if you can see that. It's a rather soft soap, but I'm gonna put it in the bowl and we'll kind of spread it around in there. This is my brother-in-law printed 3D, I think Roger Quintero design bowl. So just spread it around like so. I think that should be enough soap. And I will be using the RazoRock 400 synthetic brush. So I'm gonna load the Lupo up here. And this has the, I think that's the halo handle. Definitely a different head shape than the Game Changer and design. One of the things I do like about this is that the male ends for the blade are on the top cap rather than on the base plate. In the Game Changer, they're on the base plate. Sometimes that makes it a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say tricky, but just putting the blade in and loading it, make sure it's lined up is a little bit more difficult, I guess. So load it up, first use Nasset blade, and we will get started here. So I'm gonna go ahead and lather up, and I will be right back. All right, and I'm back, and I am lathered up in the bowl here. Thought I'd just lather off camera, save a little time for you guys. So #1. So this is what the sago base pour looks like. So I got one little scoop out of there. Off the puck, it's a pretty light scent. I'd say 3, maybe 4, 3.5, but very nice. So not overly strong on the scent strength. And then I'm going to use a recovery splash at the end. I really like the feel of the recovery splash. I will say, as I was lathering it, it did open up in the bowl a little bit. And that seems to help the scent strength a bit. But overall, a very nice scent. So let's wet the face and get started. I am working on 3 days growth. I have not shaved since Friday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We had a pretty good weekend. Man, it was hot here. It got into the low 80s here in Oregon in April, which is unusual and super hot. It was, being from Southern California, it was nice, but definitely a little unusual. But I will take it anytime. Definitely not gonna complain. Got the kids outside. We actually met at a park on Saturday with one of my wife's friends, had a birthday, and they invited some folks out to the park. A lot of people are vaccinated now, and we did the social distance thing, took the kids. They got to play with some other kids, so that was really nice to see. Haven't done that in a really long time. So I think we were still being safe. They had it set up and it's kind of spread out for folks, so that was really nice. And this is in the sago base, which is a really nice base. So scent notes on this are, so this was a collaboration that Heather at Zingari Man did with a French perfumer, and I didn't write his name down, but it's from Byron Parfums. I can't say that right, Parfums. And so this was a collaboration and created scent. And so top notes are Turkish rose and vanilla. I don't get a lot of the vanillas necessarily, so it's not overly sweet, so that's really nice. Heart notes are oud and Bulgarian rose, and then the base notes are sandalwood, patchouli, and amber. There's a whole description on it, but it's part of the description is it's earthy but fresh, subtly dark, and I'd have to agree with that. It's not, it's rose, so I think you'd have to like rose, first of all. Probably to dig this scent. This was a kind of a chance for me that I took. If you saw my unboxing video, I really wasn't sure. I like rose, but I've always personally associated rose with a more feminine scent. I know Ken, Shave326, loves rose. And I know he really enjoyed this set a lot. He went full bore. I think he got everything that you could get with this set. So, but I think it's quite nice, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. I'll be very interested to see what my wife thinks. So I took a chance on this set. My wife got this face stuff for that she put on at night that had a rose scent to it I really liked, and then I got some rose Thayer's facial mist that I'm using on occasion that I like, and so that kind of tipped me over the edge on this. But I would say it's definitely rose forward, but it does have that oud in it. It has a sandalwood and the patchouli, so it definitely has an earthiness in the background. But it's not overly rose. It's not in your face rose. It's definitely not too feminine, in my opinion. You definitely get the oud in there. So if you like oud, I definitely get that on my nose. And the rose is just kind of there on the top. Definitely doesn't smell like old grandma rose, that's for sure. At least to me. So I quite like it, actually, I think. I think my wife will be the ultimate decider on that, though. All right, so far, this Lupo is doing very nicely. And let's get the neck here and get in the second pass. We'll talk a little bit more about the razor. All right. Got my mister. I managed to keep this thing on there. I've linked this in the description. I just got it on Amazon. There's a bunch of different ones that you can buy. I just linked the one that I bought. I think it was like $6 or $7. I can't remember now. But I do try to link everything in the descriptions. Again, for those of you that are new to the channel, I don't have any affiliate links or anything. I'm not pushing any products. I'm just sharing my wet shaving experience with you, and I'm putting links in the description in case I talk about or use something that you think you might be interested in to make it easier to find. Very nice on this Sago base. I have not tried a ton of Zingari Man yet, but I will be adding more to my collection over time, that's for sure. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. We are slowly growing, so that's great news. Those who've been around, appreciate the continued support. And if you happen to watch this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button below. And if you at all like what you see, hit that thumbs up like button. All right, so the Lupo 0.72, very smooth, very easy to use. I feel like the shave angle on here is pretty intuitive. You know, it's interesting, the game changer is the most modern one is 0.68, then this is 0.72, then the game changer jumps to 0.84, and this jumps to, I think, 0.92. So I kind of got all their 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s covered there between the two razors. I don't get a whole lot of blade feel from this one either. Seems to be pretty smooth. So even though you're jumping up in the blade gap from 0.68 to 0.72, that's not very much. I would say that this is, in terms of face feel and comfort, it's pretty on par with the game changer. This handle's doing pretty well. I wasn't sure on the handle because there's no actual like knurling, and when I got this, I missed the initial drop and then grabbed it, but this was the only, there was like one or two handles available, and this was one of them. So wasn't my favorite, but and then this piece comes off if you want the handle to be shorter. So you can take this piece off. It's not adjustable, it doesn't do anything. So you can just make it shorter, but I think it's not that much shorter, so I'm gonna keep it on. And it's actually a nice place to hold my finger there. This is slightly more expensive, I think, than the game changer. I think it's like, game changer is like 55, this is like 65 or something like that. So this is a newer, I think they came out with a Lupo before. Again, being newer in the community, I don't know all the history of a lot of stuff. I think there was like a coated Lupo or something like that. And a lot of people, I think from what I got, kind of complained about the coating creating drag or something. So this is all stainless steel. So again, a really good value for what you're getting in a razor. I mean, to get all stainless steel, comfortable shave, smooth. And then you could buy the different blade heads. So if you wanted the 0.9, I don't know if it's 0.92 or 0.95, but you can just, it kind of makes it somewhat adjustable, although there's only two sizes. But I did grab the Game Changer 0.84, so it'll be interesting to try that. I did not grab the 0.95 or 92 or whatever it is. All right, last pass against the grain. So far liking the razor though. This is maybe slightly more blade feel than the Game Changer, but not really much. Nothing really noticeable to me. It'd be interesting to see if it's any more efficient. I know my first couple of shaves with the Game Changer last week weren't as efficient, but I kind of, used it 4 days in a row. I think the last couple of days, I kind of dialed it in a little bit better in terms of the angle and everything. And I got some closer shaves, but it's probably not the most efficient razor. It'll still give you a damn fine shave, DFS. I did put my dot on my blade before I started with the Sharpie. Franklin, thank you for the tip on, I didn't know there was an app called Shave Buddy. So Franklin flagged me up to that in one of the comments about Shave Buddy. So I downloaded it, but I haven't really gotten into it yet. It does look like you have to load a lot of stuff yourself, in terms of like, it's not preloaded with like the razor types or whatever, so you gotta manually do a lot of that, but it looks like a pretty cool app because you could track your shaves. So if you have not seen Shave Buddy, it was available for Apple because I have an iPhone, and Franklin said I think it's available for Android as well. So thank you for that tip. I'm gonna check it out. I've downloaded it, but haven't really had a chance to play with it yet. But you can keep track of your shaves, your soaps. So like you can keep track of your equipment, your razors, your brushes, your soaps, everything else. And then you can actually do it, like enter a shave, and then I think it keeps some statistics on how many times you use a razor or a soap or things like that. So I'm gonna do some odd angle cleanup here on the neck. Some hairs are growing some funky ways. And then this jawline is always gives me trouble. Plenty of residual slickness on this soap. Good, I think we got it. Yep. Again, I'm enjoying the scent. So this was a surprise for me. I almost didn't get it, but I took a chance. Sometimes you gotta take a chance. I've taken chances and it's been no-go. There's times when I didn't think I was taking a chance because I thought I would like something based on the scent notes, and it was a no-go. So you never know. All right, so I am going to use some of this lather that was in the brush, put it on my face, let it hang out there for a few while I get cleaned up. Why not? I don't know, I started doing this, seems to work. Kind of editing the video anyways. So there you go. I will get cleaned up and back for the post. All right, I am back. We are all cleaned up. Being me and my gear, I guess. All right, and then we got the Recovery Splash. It's a non-alcohol based aftershave product. And I like the Recovery Splash. It's kind of, to me, it's a little bit more liquidy than a balm. Absorbs really well. Kind of gives me a little bit more of a splash vibe without the alcohol. And it rubs in and absorbs really well, pretty fast, so I like that. So really nice on the balm, or on the splash, I should say, Recovery Splash. I don't get as much rose off the splash as I do off the soap, which is interesting, but still very nice. I think it's very pleasant. So there you have it. So just to recap, we used Zingari Man's #1 with the matching Recovery Splash. I used the Lupo 0.72 millimeter blade gap. I used the RazoRock 400 synthetic brush, and with a first use NASA blade. All right, so thanks for tuning in today, and that's a shave for today. So we'll see you soon on the channel.